All right, so James, I'm watching you out there, and first when you came by, I said how soon. You said sooner than later. You're looking good. How you feeling? And I know you can't put a timetable, but it's close, right?
Yeah, no, I feel great. Everything's progressing just as good as we could hope, and honestly, hopefully sooner than later. That's the plan.
When you're injured and you're watching this team, how much do you agonize? Like, I wish I was out there.
It's hard, especially team being on the West Coast. I stayed back to rehab and get as much work in as possible. Sitting on the couch, not being able to even be in the dugout and just be with the guys, it's tough. There's really not any words to describe. Sitting on the couch and knowing that you could be there, with the guys, and unfortunately you're not.
One of the things you and I spoke about at the beginning of spring training was looking ahead, having the opportunity to work with this pitching staff. Before you got injured, you had the opportunity. What is it? What you expected? Different than you expected?
No, it's been awesome. Guys show up to work. That's one thing that's so special about the guys we have is they're all professionals. They all show up every day to get better. Max Scherzer won multiple Cy Youngs. Jake obviously hasn't been out, but every guy, doesn't matter, top to bottom, is showing up to get better each and every day, and that's what makes this group so special.
Watching on the coast, you get to see what Ty did the other day. Had a rough first inning, but then settled down, 10 strikeouts. But his ability, and I asked him this earlier today, was as a guy who's made it as a pro, his ability to change and adapt and start throwing more curveballs. How much is that also part and parcel of the catching staff to make him have confidence in those pitches?
Yeah, no, it's a huge thing to be able to recognize as a catcher what may be working ahead of it actually working. In the bullpen, in sides, just seeing how pitches are playing and knowing, hey, this is going to play well to this hitter or this hitter. This is a good opportunity to use this pitch, and then it helps them get confidence in the game when you're choosing the right times to use it. And the next thing you know, they're using it anytime they want.
Before you guys went on the road to recognize Johan Santana's no-hitter, the guys, the 5 pitchers and yourself were able to go out there with Josh Cohen and Johan. Talk about that moment and what it meant to you.
Yeah, obviously Johan, I grew up watching him, a very special player, and getting to share a recognition of being part of the only 2 no-hitters in Mets history. It's definitely special. That guy has his name etched in history for a long time, and it's special to be right alongside him.
I try to explain to Josh Coley what you have. You have the home plates from both ends. What exactly is that display?
So
why did you think of doing it?
I caught my first no-hitter in Chicago, and someone asked me what I was going to do, what I was going to do to commemorate it. And I hadn't really thought of this. You need to get him to dig up home plate. And I said, dig up home plate? I never even thought that was an option. Actually, home plate's sitting in my locker. It's authenticated, and I had it, written on the box score written on there, and just the date and everything describing the game. So when I caught the second one, I asked if I could get this home plate to be able to display it right next to my other home plate. So it's a pretty neat. It's one of my favorite pieces of memorabilia. Is you got signed bats, signed balls, but having 2 home plates from no hitters, that's pretty neat.
And lastly, I spoke to Josh Coley about this. Everyone knows all the catchers that caught Nolan Ryan's no hitters. It's a link. What does it mean to you to be etched in history for 2 different no hitters as the battery?
Yeah, I remember as a kid thinking how cool it'd be to catch a no hitter, a perfect game in the big leagues, and now being a part of 2, it's very special. It's something, two of my greatest moments in Major League Baseball. I've hit walk-off homers, I've done different things, special here and there, but being part of 2 no-hitters, there's nothing quite like it.